right, hey guys, Sam back with you here. We're midday, Wednesday, February 21st, last coin of the day. Again, a request from a member to take a look at Quantstamp. Now, I was not familiar with this project, so as I would with anything new, I would go over to CoinGecko and see how it's scoring here. So it's only been around for 3 months, relatively new project. It's November of 17th. You know, 168 million, nothing to scoff at. But, you know, look here. So in 3 months, we're already pushing 50 here. It's a good sign. I'd like to see this get a little bit higher, that interest in the development community. But it's kind of an interesting, well, it looks like an interesting project. You know, I'll let you do your own digging if you want to go read the white paper and, you know, take a fundamental dive into it. You know, that's, you know, I kind of use these as a reference. So, you know, I'd like to see that increasing. But if, you know, this starts to bump to 50 and above, this should come with it, and that should go with it as well. So let's go see if we can trade it, if there's anything here. So you can see I've got a little bit of work on this already. You know, some volatility, certainly. So here's, you know, the ICO craziness, and then we come down, we get a good low that we can start working from here. So you know, this is just chop here, but so potentially there's your 1-2. So just again, you know, we don't need to dwell too much over here on the left side, but we can look here and say that reasonable, we go right to the 50, so that's a reasonable 1-2. You know, so then coming up here, if we look, you know, potentially there's the 3. So if I work from the 2 here, you can see we go right into the golden zone. Then right, it looks to me like we have an A, B, and then we get the shallow C here, that pattern that has been so consistent in crypto. But that's a bit of a tell right there. So into the golden pocket, boom, up we go. Here's the first algo target. You see the little reaction. So that could just be, you know, part of this fifth wave going up and completing. Looks like we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. We complete up here in the 5. We're a little shy of the ones, or the negative 618. But we get, so what's the point of all that? I've got a good, clean, technical 5-wave sequence that I can now work from the absolute high, and I'm going to go back to my absolute low as I would with any 5-wave structure and say, well, where are we now? All right, so, you know, clearly the interest is here is whether or not there's a potential buy setting up here. So we can look here, you know, again, right? So you can see, so clearly algorithms are in here. We saw the reaction here. We see it again here, right into the golden zone. Look at the reaction. So now they're not to target, right? Here's their target up here. So, but we've seen this right now. We come back, we test it again. Front run on the 618, reaction. But we can't seem to get we can't seem to get legs to get up and get a good, clean, you know, 5-wave structure started. We keep getting these corrective structures, right? So this seems to be coming down in 5s, and maybe we're coming down for, you know, a triple bottom. You know, you don't see a lot of those, but if that's going to be tested again, you know, that would be encouraging. So much as I was discussing in the last video here, you know, you can't be shy of it just because it's been there 3 times, and so your immediate thought is, well, you know, triple bottoms are rare, so it's likely to break. Well, you know, you got to be a little bit more, you know, willing to dig in here, say, can you build a case here for a potential low? We're trying to find a 2. This, you know, so this was the, you know, the clear contender here. It didn't happen. You know, you had the possibility for a 1, 2. You had the 3, but now we've rolled over, so that no longer. So what could we have? Well, let's just try and make sense of it. So here so likely there's your A wave. You know, you've got an A, B, C in here to your B wave. So this is, you know, so much of crypto is doing this, so much in the alts where you go, okay, well, it didn't play. So are we back again looking at a WXY? It's certainly a contender. Since we don't, so what else could it be? Could this be, you know, could we be talking another A, B, C? It seems less likely. So I mean, again, I've done 2 more coins than, you know. See, I don't want to just default here and think, oh well, WXY. But right now, it would appear that this is a 3-wave correction. You know, it's certainly hard to argue with that, because this is where you were looking for the C wave to complete. Double bottom down here. It was all there. I think even if we look here and measure it and say, well, what could that be if we take the length of the A projected from the B? You know, there was nothing terribly sexy about that pivot other than obviously the 618 there, but we didn't get any confirmation relative to the ABC structure. So if I look now, just, you know, anticipating that there might be a technical pivot here on the B. Well, we get through the 786. Now we're back here, so you can see this market definitely likes the 618. So we come up here, so swing high to swing low. Yeah, we got through. So look what we've done here. We're just doing a fib fight, all right, from 618 to 618. You see what's happening there? 618 to 618. No, bulls and bears fighting it out. No clear winner here. So who do you defer to? Well, the longer term trend we establish with this 5-wave structure. So we're looking for the bullish side to win out. Again, a triple bottom here is kind of unusual, but that looks to be what's setting up. So is it a WXY? It's hard to argue against it. I just, I've seen so many of them. It makes me think that I'm just, kind of resorting to it as a default. Am I not being creative enough in here about what I'm looking at? It's hard to argue with it. So let's dig in. I'm on a 2-hour. Let's see if we can dig into this last wave here and make any sense of it. Is it technical? Anything to help us get more confidence in this potentially being a 2 low over here? So, A, B, yes, let's just look at the major pivots here. So here's the tag at the 618. So we go here, well, here's the 50. Now, here's the algo target from that 50. So they've already hit target. So are we just coming back here to complete in a 5-wave sequence? Could this be an A, B, and then we're going to finish down here in a C and give us that Y? It's not gorgeous, but we might be looking at it this way. So A, B coming down for a C to complete the WXY, right? We're trying to connect two ABCs. So, it's contender. It's contender. What else can I find? Anything else there? If I take the length of my A projected from this B, well, here's the 100%. That's a common target. That would be right at the 65. So you'd be stacking up some confluence here. Right, we saw what happened here last time. It actually looks like it went through it by just a hair. So this would be a true double bottom if we come down here. So I would look here and go, okay, interesting. Already through the first one here. So we may not get down that low. We may have just seen it here. So now I'm on a 2-hour. I'd go down. We could even go try the 30-minute, see if there's any help there by going down to a smaller time frame. Well, I can make the case that I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B. Let's see here. So if we were trying to get a count on this, if I can get this hot. So we can 1, 2, 3, 4. Potentially looks like a 5. Let me lower that degree. That's a little extreme over that. Let's go there. Okay, does that? Yeah, that plays as a 2. So we get a diagonal, as you might anticipate. Here in a C wave here, we can allow for an ending diagonal. It's a slight overlap, but it's there nonetheless. So does that play as a 3rd? Let's check that length. So I would take the length of the 1 projected from the 2. Well, we're not 100%, so we got to watch out for that 3rd wave. Just can't be the shortest. So we're a little past the 618. So let's double check. Let's double check it this way. So we'd take. So I want alternate. So I'd take the length of the 3 projected from the 4. Yeah. So right now we'd have, so that's a bit of a problem. So we'd have the 3rd wave would be the shortest here. So we might have to look at. Let's see, how can we make that work? So we'd have 1, 2. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. So we might have to go down this way. So that looks like a contender here. So we'd have to play that as 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'd have to look at it this way. So now this is where it can get a little tricky. So we'd have to play it as a 3rd coming down here. Come here. So we'd have 1, potentially 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So now again, this is just me doing it on the fly. So now let's reconsider that. So that plays. So potentially we'd have lined up like this. So we'd have 1, 2. Let's change the color here so it's not so confusing. So let's go to yellow on that, and then we'll go up a degree here so we can keep track of what we're doing. Let's go to a sub-minuet. Okay, so that's where just a little Elliott knowledge is helpful to you. because we would have had third, that would have been the shortest wave, so that doesn't play. So what that sets us up for is 1, 2, 3. Here we get this little corrective action here. So it would actually, let me get these lined up correctly. All right, so then we'd have potentially the third here. So now we're sort of setting the whole thing up. So potentially now, as we look here, we'd have 1, 2, 3. We'd expect a reaction to give us a 4, and then we'd come back down for the 5. That's what I see looking at it, having just worked through it. I probably should rehearse these. So there's 1, 2, 3 potentially setting up. So the anticipation would be that we'd come off of this, give us a 4, right? Then we don't know, but then down here for one last push. So if and when we get this, and truncated double bottom, that would be a truncated fifth there. That seems unlikely, but it could be. So I'd be wicking off ones like I always would. So trouble getting these hot. Come on. Get hot for me. There we go. Okay, so I'd be looking at that. So then I'd pull here from my 2 to my 4. When I get, there's the 38. So that makes sense. One more push down completes the third. I got an algo target sitting right here relative to this pull here from the 2 to the 3. So one more push down. We don't know. I mean, we could have a truncated fifth there. It's possible. We get with this little reaction here because of we're back to, again, we're in that golden zone where we're coming up to the 618. Could be some front running here. We'll see. I'd be watching for that to come down one more time. Then what's the reaction we get coming out of here? So let's pull back out and see if we can put this in context. All right. So do you see where we are now? Okay. So we're working off of the WXY. So WX. We're trying to get an AB, but we're trying to get clarity here on this final leg. Right? And because of the way it's unfolding, it would imply that there's more down yet to come. Right? So it's a bit of a wait and see here. So here's the big, just so you don't lose track of it. Here's the golden zone right here. So just so you know it's there. So we're trying to get a good pivot within the golden zone. Right, that's what we're after. Can we get this one last push down here to give us a third? Do we get a reaction? So that's where, it's a judgment call, because you could get the reaction out of there, and it could just be straight algo buying, pulls it up, it gets retested. We're thinking coming down for the 5. We could double bottom in the golden zone. You could get a higher low. You may not get it. Right? Nothing says just because it's setting up that it must complete. We could get this. It could just come out of this with a, we just failed to make that new low to complete the 5. Then we might have to recount it again. But right now, looks like the setup is there for one more push lower. We shall see. And this 4, if I go back down in there, that 4 may, we've got more room for that to go higher. So if I'm looking for my 2 here, we could go up one more time, right? Because we could have a diagonal. So we have all the way up to, really, you could give it up to this level here. We might have the 4, have more complexity. Could have that A, B, C into the 4 because we had a very abrupt 2. It's possible. All right, so it's a wait and see. So I don't think there's anything to be jumping on just yet. I like it better if it comes down here and completes and gives me a clean third here. Again, we know where we are, so we're definitely at that longer term support zone that we're hoping is going to hold, and we're just trying to fine tune that entry to see if it makes sense, right? So that's, if you like doing that kind of, I consider it's like solving the puzzle. If you like that kind of work, well, that's what's involved there. You got to try and get it to set up. And then, but if you're wrong, and assume you will be more than you're not, we'll have to come back and reevaluate here and see if there's another way to count this that works. Right now, that's what I see. So what happens next? Then the tell is, do we get a 4-5? Right, so tricky one. That's a tricky one. And that could be, part and parcel of the fact that it's a new project. We're still relatively small here, only at 168 million, but all sorts of potential for the upside. All right, so one to watch. We shall see. All right, guys, I'll wrap it there.